I never thought one office party would expose the elderly East Asian man who'd been secretly preying on my wife, but what happened that night changed everything.
I never expected an office party to shake the foundation of my marriage, but life rarely sends warnings before it strikes. My wife, Marissa, worked at a high-end marketing firm, a world of sleek glass walls, expensive desks, and employees who dressed like walking billboards for confidence. She thrived in that polished environment. Her calm personality and sharp instincts made people gravitate toward her without effort. I, on the other hand, usually skipped her corporate events. The loud music and the too professional but still flirty energy just wasn't my scene. But that night, she insisted I join. Just once, she said with a hopeful smile that I could never resist. So I went because making her happy always felt like the most natural thing in the world. When we walked in hand, I felt a surge of pride watching her glide through her world with such ease. She introduced me to her colleagues, and each one praised her work, her dedication, her leadership. I loved seeing her in that light, getting the recognition she deserved. For a moment, I thought it was going to be a good night. Then I saw him, Callum Reeves, tall, polished, and oozing the kind of swagger that comes from getting away with everything your whole life. The way he watched Marissa wasn't admiration, it was possession. His eyes lingered a heartbeat too long, his smile stretched a fraction too wide. Every instinct in me tightened. He walked over, extending a hand to me. "Elliot, right? Marissa talks about you all the time," but his eyes never left her. That was the first warning bell. As the night went on, the drinks flowed and the crowd loosened up. Marissa moved around the room, chatting with coworkers, laughing softly. I watched her from a distance, admiring her confidence. That is, until I saw Callum step behind her. I saw his hand slide onto her lower back, far too low to be considered innocent. The change in her was instant. She froze. There was no smile, no leaning in. Just a rigid, silent discomfort. By the time I started moving across the room, he had already stepped away, acting like nothing had happened. But I saw it. And more importantly, she felt it. "Are you okay?" I whispered when I reached her. She nodded, but her trembling fingers wrapped around her glass told the real story. We left early. The moment our front door closed behind us, her fragile composure finally broke. "He touched me," she whispered, her voice cracking. "I told him to stop earlier this week. I told him I wasn't comfortable. He doesn't listen. He just keeps pushing." And in that moment, something inside me clicked into place, a cold, sharp clarity. I stayed awake long after she fell into a restless sleep. What Callum did wasn't just a drunken mistake at a party. It was a pattern, a deliberate and repeated violation of her boundaries. And I wasn't going to let him turn my wife into another silent victim of his predatory behavior. By morning, I had a plan. I wasn't going to punch him or cause a dramatic scene. Men like Callum love drama. It gives them an excuse, a way to paint themselves as the misunderstood party. No, I was going to end this quietly, strategically, and permanently. First, I needed irrefutable proof. And I knew exactly who would have it. Nina Porter, one of Marissa's closest coworkers. Nina was smart, observant, one of those people who notices everything others miss. I sent her a text. "Nina, I need to ask you something about last night." Her reply came back almost instantly. "I've been waiting for you to ask." We were on the phone minutes later. She didn't waste any time. "Elliot, I saw everything. And this isn't the first time." Callum's been crossing lines with Marissa for weeks. My jaw tightened. The anger felt like ice in my veins. "Can you tell me everything?" Nina sighed heavily, the sound of someone who had been carrying a burden for far too long. "He does this with new hires, anyone he thinks won't fight back. Inappropriate comments, touching their waist or back. People complain, HR pretends to investigate, but nothing ever happens. He's protected. That word tasted filthy. "Do you have any proof?" I asked, my voice low and steady. There was a brief pause on the other end of the line. Then she said, "I might." A few moments later, my phone buzzed. She had sent me 3 videos she'd discreetly recorded during the party. The first 2 showed Callum hovering way too close to Marissa, leaning into her personal space with that repulsive, self-assured smile plastered on his face. You could see her trying to subtly create distance. But the third video, that was the one. It captured the exact moment he slid his hand onto her lower back. It was undeniably predatory. You could see Marissa's entire body go stiff, her smile vanishing, and his grin just widened. Suddenly, everything was in black and white. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was misconduct, caught on camera. I didn't show Marissa the videos just yet. That morning, she was curled under a blanket on the couch, looking fragile and exhausted. The fight had gone out of her. I gently kissed her forehead and promised her I'd take care of it. I meant it. At 10 a.m. sharp, I walked into her office building. I was dressed simply, feeling as calm as a stone. I greeted the receptionist politely. "Is Avery Dalton available? I need to speak with her regarding an HR concern." Avery, the HR manager, had the weary look of someone who had dealt with too many complaints and seen too few resolutions. But that was about to change. I sat down across from her and placed my phone on her desk. "I want to submit a formal complaint about an employee named Callum Reeves," I said. She hesitated, her expression already guarded. "Did you witness something yourself?" "No," I replied and pressed play on the third video. "My wife did." I watched her face as she saw the footage. Her jaw tightened. She took a sharp, controlled breath. And then I saw a spark of righteous anger in her eyes. The mask of corporate neutrality fell away. When the video ended, she leaned forward, her voice low. "Mr. Warren, this is very serious." "Then take it seriously," I said, my tone leaving no room for argument. She met my gaze and nodded firmly. "Give me 1 hour." I walked out of that office with the quiet confidence of someone who knew that justice had finally found its target. Callum's protected status had just expired. If you or someone you know is dealing with harassment at work, please know you are not alone. There are resources available like the EEOC and local legal aid services that can provide guidance and support. Speaking up is the first step toward change. Thanks for listening, and remember to look out for one another.